welcome to Talking Scotch with me, Pierre Meintjes. For those that have been following our recent mini-series on the regions, the producing regions of Scotch whisky in Scotland, you'll know that we've already covered off the lowlands, we've covered off the highlands as well, and today we're lucky enough to be in Speyside. Fantastic region, beautiful part of the world. And when I was there very recently, although it was springtime, snow all over the place, freezing cold. But through the good offices of Campari, I spent a whole morning at the wonderful distillery of Glen Grant, which is what we're going to be talking about today. I spent the whole morning with the fascinating and really good friend Dennis Malcolm, who's been in the Scotch whisky industry for over 52 years, 53 years. And whilst he's one of the quiet men of the whisky industry, he is just an absolute hive of knowledge. He's got a wonderful sense of humour, and to spend a whole day with him talking about the whisky and the distillery itself was an absolute pleasure. Glen Grant is also well known, apart from its whisky, for its beautiful garden that it's got behind the distillery, and it's almost in a gorge, if you can imagine. So you've got a river coming down, sort of mountain slopes on each side, and they've got this beautiful garden which was developed by Major Grant himself. I don't think Major Grant was a major himself, but still inherited the distillery when he was 25 years old, and he was a well-travelled man, an entrepreneur of note, full of all brand new ideas and so on. In fact, I believe he was the first man to have a motor car in the Highlands. But he travelled to Africa amongst other places and brought back indigenous plants and trees, which all planted in this beautiful garden. And Dennis and I took a walk up past the burn, and you cross over a little bridge and you come to a wee cave in the mountain. It's not much of a cave, but it's a little opening, a little hole in the mountain. And in this hole there's a safe, an actual metal safe. Of course, Dennis has the keys. Unlocked the safe, and there was a beautiful bottle of Glen Grant with a couple of glasses just waiting for us to sample. So on this crisp, ice-cold day, Dennis pours me a glass. We take a sip. We have this delicious dram. He tells me all about it. But he explains that he's driving, so he can't drink the whole lot. So with about this much still left in the glass, he throws it straight back into the burn and says, "Oh, don't worry about that." He says, "Sooner or later it'll be back in the distillery again." That's the kind of man we're talking about. Having said that, we're here to talk about the whisky as well. And Glen Grant is known for its style because of a couple of reasons. Firstly, they've got very tall stills in the distillery, which help to make this whisky lighter, softer, gentler. It also uses a purifier on each of the still, which almost gives the effect of triple distilling in a way, in that it even makes it more elegant, more fruity, lighter. So with that in mind, we know that the whisky that we're going to be tasting will be honeyed, slightly malty. They talk about sugared almonds, ripe apples, etc., etc. So we're in for a real treat. We've got the Glen Grant 12-year-old here today, which, as we know, means all the whiskey in the bottle has been in a barrel for a minimum of 12 years before it gets put in. Tasting glass here. Some whiskey into the glass. Lovely, light but bright gold colour. Lovely and light. On the nose, and remember, as I've always said, when you nose whiskey, incidentally, some beautiful legs on this whiskey as well. When you nose whiskey, put your nose right into the glass. Remember to open your mouth and breathe through your nose and mouth at the same time. Oh, on the nose, fruity, red apples, oranges. There's a lot going on here. Elegant, as I said, sweet. Now we're going to put a drop of water in it. a little swirl to wake it up. Well, immediately that drop of water has opened this whiskey up. It's now richer, fuller. Oh, and those sweet apples are just coming through. Beautiful, beautiful nose. Now we're going to taste it. That is so delicious. Without question. Rich apples. Barley I can taste as well. Vanilla. Remember, this is a Speyside whiskey. They're complex. There's a lot going on here. And the finish. Almond nuts. It's long, it's sweet. Even a hint of toffee coming through. This is such a delicious drink, and one that is highly underrated in my opinion. If you ever get the chance and you're in Speyside, don't neglect a visit to Glen Grant. It's certainly worth it. Thanks for watching, and remember, as we say in Scotland, Slangy Var.